Welcome to AG's Ace. What will it take for Ravi Ashwin to get his due? I'm a huge fan of the man, possibly, arguably, the best spin bowler in the world currently. And is Team India treating him right? Very honest answer from me. I don't think so. And there could be many others who are his fans and who feel that he hasn't been treated right, which has sort of impacted his his state of mind. And he says a few things now, which to me, as a fan of the game, as a fan of Team India, and a huge admirer of what Ashwin brings to the table, that things are not right and we should look after him better. I'll run you through a few interesting points and let's see where we reach. So there are a few questions. Does he have a crossed equation with skipper Virat Kohli? Is there an attitude problem? Do wires get crossed in team meetings? Those are things which some of the evidence could be available when a match is on. It could be in the form of the way Ravi Ashwin has been picked and dropped and not played in all the formats. And there is always a question mark hanging over his head whether he's part of the team or not. All of that we have seen. So let's quickly go through some of his figures. And he has improved his away record significantly over the last 18 months. On home soil, the off-spinner remains a completely different beast. Of his 377 wickets, Ashwin has 254 wickets in India, including 21 5-wicket hauls and 6 match hauls of 10 wickets. Those are incredible figures. So he's at 377 wickets, and out of that, a substantial chunk has come in India. So maybe one of the criticisms against him could be that, well, his performance overseas has not been as good. But then there are quite a few bowlers in the past. If you study their career, if you study their figures, they were backed a lot by their captains, and they stood the test of time. He only needs 12 wickets to overtake Harbhajan's tally of 265 test wickets at home. And assuming that he gets there, he'll become India's second highest wicket taker at home, behind Anil Kumble, who leads the pack with 350 wickets. Another stat which I find is interesting is that he needs another 8 wickets to complete 50 test wickets against England at home. 8 more to complete 50 against England. He'll become only the 4th Indian to do so after some huge names like B.S. Chandrasekhar at 64 wickets, Kumble 56, and the great Bishan Singh Bedi at 50 wickets. Now, the last time England had toured India to play test matches in 2016, Ashwin had grabbed 28 wickets from 5 matches at an average. And that included 3 5-wicket hauls and 1 match haul of 10 wickets. Fantastic figures. 28 wickets from 5 matches at an average. Now, in the upcoming series, Monty Panesar, and he was here for the Ekamra Sports Lit Fest, which we had organized in Delhi. So he spoke a lot about the spinners, and he has a massive admiration for Ravi Ashwin. And he has gone on to say in a recent interview that Ashwin, who performed brilliantly in the Australian tour, he would come with a lot of confidence in this series. And let's admit to the fact that Ashwin is possibly got the maximum number of variations available to an off-spinner in world cricket. So he says, Monty says that the outcome of the series will depend upon how the English batsman will play him. Massive compliment from Monty. The Indian off-spinner has become smarter, and how he's bowling at this moment tells that he is in the best form of his life. Now, if you recall the 2012 and the 13 series, Monty had taken 17 wickets. And along with Graeme Swann, one of the finest off-spin bowlers of his time, Swann had taken 20 wickets. England won that series 2-1. So 2 spinners wrapped up the series for England. Let's not forget that. I have a few quotes from Ashwin, which show a state of mind. That's why I'm going to take you through that. So to quote Ashwin, he says, "For me, the competitions have got the best out of me. I have no complaints. I feel whatever I have left ahead of me will also be on the same lines. So I've decided to play every test like my first. If I can't be excellent, I should just hang my head down and move on. That's the way I played my cricket. It won't be any different in future." If you read between the lines, he's saying a lot. Sunil Gavaskar, he wrote a column on Sportstar, and he said, Gavaskar is always very forthright with his views, as we all know, very succinct, sometimes lets a punch fly, and we like him for that. He said, "For far too long, Ashwin has suffered not for his bowling ability, of which only the churlish will have doubts, but for his forthrightness in speaking his mind at meetings, where most others just nod even if they don't agree. If Ashwin doesn't take heaps of wickets in one game, he's invariably sidelined for the next one. That does not happen to established batsmen, though. For far too long, Ashwin has suffered not for his bowling ability, of which only the churlish will have doubts, but for the way he speaks. Now, when Gavaskar says that, it is very clear that he's got a definite feedback of what goes on in team meetings or what is happening inside. And please don't forget that the current Team India coach, Ravi Shastri, is a old friend of Sunil Gavaskar, and they have both played a lot of matches together. I'm not implying that Ravi Shastri gave this information, but from it is very obvious that Sunil Gavaskar, the way he speaks in that definitive mode, he has information that Ashwin, being a highly intelligent man, has been penalized for speaking his mind, for being forthright, which possibly the captain doesn't like. Gavaskar goes on to say any other country would welcome a bowler who has more than 350 test wickets, and not to forget 4 test matches centuries too. Ravi Ashwin, India's 4th highest wicket taker in tests, is behind Kumble, Kapil Dev and Harbhajan Singh, and he has 377 wickets from 74 test matches. Now, can he go on to play, say, about 130, 140 test matches and go into the 500, 600 zone? That would depend a lot on how Team India treats him. Because let's remember, this is also a mind game. It is also very important to give your own boys some extra confidence and say that, hey, I'm behind you. So India needs, some of the points that I want to make is that India needs to persist and show greater faith in Ravi Ashwin. The captain needs to back him more. I don't feel that the current captain has backed him enough. He must play in most formats of the game, considering his versatility, his maturity, and also the way he assists the captain. He has leadership abilities and is very evident. These are his best years, so please back him. Do not forget that a bowler like Harbhajan Singh had a certain sort of Ganguly behind him as the skipper who gave him that confidence. I saw a recent interview of Bhaji, and he shed tears. He cried and saying that the way, like an elder brother, Saurav Ganguly stood like a wall, helped him transform himself into a better bowler, into a better player, and all those records came into his lap. If Saurav Ganguly hadn't backed him, none of that would have happened. Quite a bit of that is true. So whom does Ashwin swear by? That's a very important question. So the Team India management needs to support this guy, and if he's on song, a lot of magic will happen, not only in the forthcoming series, but give him a much longer rope, give him a time, let him play test matches on a regular basis, and also in the other formats. I close this with one of Ashwin's own quotes, which says, "You must take the risk in order to be rewarded." Thanks for watching.